Welcome back to WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Wind Waker. Last episode, we entered the Tower of the Gods, the third dungeon of the game, and we got both the dungeon map and the compass. And this episode, we are going to try and get further in the dungeon, though the rising water and lowering water has been giving us a little bit of trouble. But I think we can take out the choo-choos if we time this right. Hopefully we can get them all before they recover from that attack. Yeah, that's why the multiple homing feature of the boomerang is so useful. It does that also in Twilight Princess, but the problem is in Twilight Princess, it's a wind-based item due to this weird magic thingy that it's got going on. So you actually can't use it to stun enemies, I don't think, because it's much weaker. Whereas in Wind Waker, it's really just a blunt weapon, the way it should be. But the wind boomerang in Twilight Princess was pretty cool, admittedly. But once again, I say once again a lot, and it seems to happen a lot in this dungeon in particular. I tend to be straying from the subject and talking about other Zelda games, whereas Wind Waker is the one that we should really be caring about at the moment. Oh, that's really cool. So this totem actually changes which mouths the water flows out of. So yes, the water will still rise and fall as usual. I'm not sure if it does so at a different rate. It seems pretty much the same. However, now that the main jet has been turned off, as soon as the water rises, we'll be able to climb up through there. Hopefully before we drown, because the timer's kind of ticking. There we go. And there's yet another hidden door. And this is the one that you need to ascend up the tower. Okay, we have rats in here. For some reason, the Tower of the Gods doesn't seem like a place for you to find rats. It's been completely submerged under the water all this time. Aha, I got one. I got it. Damn, they're kind of tough to get. It's annoying because you're going to have to take these statues through here, and sometimes the rats will attack you while you're transporting it, and you don't want them to do that because you have that laser statue firing at you. That laser thing is called a Beamos. It's more notably an enemy in the other games. In this one, it's kind of just a weird feature of the environment. But I think it can still be considered an enemy because you can target it. So the idea is just walk around it in that direction, in a clockwise fashion. Otherwise, you'll be going against the flow of the laser. In other words, the way the Beamos rotates, meaning that the laser will more easily catch up to you and hit you. So if you take the statues around this way, you'll be able to hold down the switches without too much problems. And as you saw, that's what caused these platforms to work. Now, the Tingle statue in this dungeon is located on one last platform over there. You can see it right there. So if you're using the Tingle Tuner, put a Tingle Bomb there and you can get this dungeon's Tingle statue. I think I've mentioned every dungeon's Tingle statue briefly, if you listen really carefully. I at least make sure to mention it. Oh, that was dangerous. No, that was a bad idea. Damn. I jumped without even equipping my Deku Leaf. That was stupid. Oh well. Not that we really need it. Whoa. Still, it's a good thing to have. Damn. The choo-choo just jumped off. Okay. Yeah, there's stuff in that hallway that you can't get at the moment. They seem to do that pretty much with every dungeon in this game. Alright, so Seeker of the Goddess's Guidepost, press R to call me and guide me to my place of truth. So you press R, and Link actually says, like, come on! And it causes the statue to drop down to your level. Now that statue is not evil. It's following you, but if it bumps into you, it's not really going to do anything. It's friendly. So just guide it, and make sure it doesn't fall off these little cliffs. If that means that you need to just take your time, and make sure it carefully follows you, then do so. Like, don't make sudden turns, otherwise it won't register there's a corner there, and it will drop right in there, because it's not exactly the brightest little statue. So I think we can jump across that gap with it. Yep. Alright, so that's how it's done. So unfortunately, I think we still got the choo-choos to deal with, but if we wait for the platform, we can probably make it past them. Yep. Wow, choo-choos and cliffs. Never a good combination. And that has helped us get this statue back to the center of this room. So now instead of having totems, you have these sentient statues that follow you around. They're going to be the key to progressing further in this dungeon from this point onwards. So this one has gotten onto its pedestal. It has it's like got ram's horns or something. And it causes a tablet to appear in the center of that altar. And so let's have a closer inspection of that tablet. Okay, markings that appear to indicate specific directions. Whenever it says that, you need your Wind Waker. So we're going to be following a new pattern. Oh, and interestingly, there's something written in Hylian there, but I have no idea how to read that. So whatever, just hold the control stick to the left for this song, because it has 4 notes, I guess. And you'll be able to play it. Very simple. You learned the command melody! So that's the name of this song. And now the door's open. My kin wait beyond the doors. Control them and guide them to their places of truth to open the path to the gods. And with that, the tablet disappears. So yes, the command melody doesn't open doors, unlike what this cutscene might have suggested. That's just an effect of learning it, which is very odd, and I feel it could have been handled better, so that it didn't confuse me. So yes, we'll just drop these bubbles into the abyss by hitting the deku leaf to put out their magic fire. That also apparently causes them to hover, come to think of it. And from here, we can swing across this gap using a grappling hook. It's not like the grappling hook stopped being a thing or anything. We still have that item to cross gaps, even though we have the deku leaf. Lots of items for crossing gaps in this game. Many different ways. It's all depending on the level of the ground. So from here, you're going to be able to see how we can call this guy down, and now not just have him follow us, but we can actually use a command melody to command him. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought once we encountered the bubbles and then saw the grappling hook and stuff. As I was explaining, the command melody actually does this. First have Link stand on the switch so that light bridge appears. Make sure you have Link keep standing on it so he can hold it down. While he's standing on it, use the command melody. Now you'll actually get to see what the command melody does. So the statue said, guide the kin. So that's what happens. You actually take control, and then instead of a blue aura, it turns green, because you're taking control of it. So you can use a control stick to walk this guy across the bridge, and then press R to return. And once you return, don't worry, he's not going to turn blue and run right after you. Well, he's still blue, but he won't run after you. In fact, I don't think he'll follow you again until you press R to call him. But he won't be able to follow you through the door unless you pick him up. So that's just a unique little quirk of objects and physics in the Zelda series, I suppose. There's hardly ever a time when that doesn't hold true. Alright, so I think we're gonna get a message from the King of Red Lions here. Yep.
Hey.
Jack, it is I, the King of Red Lions. I'm afraid there are some areas to which you will not be able to bring the servants of the tower. But do not fear leaving them behind. Once you have awakened them, they will wait patiently for your return. Of this I assure you. Alright, so with that information, let's do a handy little sequence break. You can roll at that gap and use the deku leaf to get across instead of actually using your grappling hook and changing direction to get there. You could do that initially, but I thought I'd show you the fair way of getting across normally. So that with that out of the way, we are going into a room with an extra long load time, which can only mean one thing. It's a mini-boss. This enemy is called a Dark Nut. This enemy is actually stronger than most normal bosses you'll encounter in the game, just in terms of how much outright damage they can dish out, as well as how many hits they can take. So the idea is they've got armor on, so use the parry attack to dodge their damaging sword and cut off their straps to let go of the armor. The next thing you want to focus on is taking out the helmet. That way they're completely vulnerable to everything, including the grappling hook. The grappling hook can actually steal Knight's Press off them. So yeah, we were able to knock his sword out of his hands. With his sword, it's very powerful. We can knock down columns, and oddly enough, he seems to have completely forgotten us, so until he remembers that we're supposed to be fighting, I guess we hit him a little hard. We'll just wait and take the spoils and the pillars. So the sword will do incredible damage to him if we can get close. Like 5 hits each, I think. Something ridiculous. Man, we wrecked him. That was ridiculous. So yeah, that's supposed to be a very dangerous enemy. The problem is I'm too good at this game, so we pretty much just mopped the floor with these guys. Yeah, but in all seriousness, you want to be careful around them. They're really a bit more dangerous in groups, because then you have to focus on just more complicated swordplay with a number of enemies with high defenses and respectable offense. Anyway, the reward for that is the Hero's Bow, yet another projectile item. You might be wondering, well, what makes the Hero's Bow better than the boomerang? You will find out next episode whether or not that's actually true as we equip it and use it to get further into the Tower of the Gods. So, until then, this has been Let's Play Wind Waker.